Hi, my name is Cara, and today I'm reviewing The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. So this book is a YA contemporary focusing on the Black Lives Matter movement and police brutality and racism in America. Just kind of a overall summary. So it essentially follows Star, who's our main character, who was born and raised in the ghetto. Her dad was is a retired gangster. He went into prison and has come back out and has kind of distanced himself from the gangster life. And her brothers are going to this fancy white school a couple of suburbs over to kind of improve their situation, I guess. But she's still very much connected to this really poor neighborhood where she grew up. But she's having this kind of personal identity crisis between her white friends and her white boyfriend and the black community that she lives and grew up in. And then on top of that, after a party one night where she is with some of her ghetto friends, or her neighborhood friends, I should say, ghetto's the wrong word for that, neighborhood friends, she ends up in a car with one of her old school friends that she hadn't talked to in a long time, and they get pulled over by police and her friend gets shot and killed. And it essentially follows on from that point through as she battles with police and telling her story and trying to keep herself safe in this political climate, while also wanting to be a voice for those who are oppressed. And she, being the one who saw what happened, really feels like she needs to speak up and be the one to defend her friend. This is so good. Star is a beautiful main character, and her family and friends are really well developed. This book has great family dynamics and a lot of rich detail on that front that kind of like sits with you. And then her friend who was shot, Khalil, also has, although we obviously don't see from his perspective, you see a lot of the world that was going on around him before he died and what goes on now post that incident, and that was really rich and complex. I loved that. One thing I should mention about this book is that I did find the pacing to be a little bit off, but I think that was a key issue with the writing style. This was a writing style that I loved. I thought it's told first person from Star's point of view, and you really get to see the language and richness of the world, I guess, or their community. But because it's first person, Star kind of tells you what's happening rather than showing you. And that definitely led to some pacing problems. So some of the more mundane things where she was dealing with her white friends and her white boyfriend compared to her black family and neighborhood, that had a lot of richness and detail, whereas some of the more poignant, hard-hitting things, especially later in the book regarding her activism, a lot happened in very short spaces of time because the detail and lushness wasn't there, but that is just the kind of writing style it was. So I don't fault it precisely because I think it needed that kind of storytelling, but it kind of sat a bit weird with me just in the pacing. Overall, I thought the characters were beautifully developed. The story just tore my heart out. Like, I cared so much about these characters and the outcomes, and even knowing there's not really a good outcome to any of this, at the present point it kind of gave some hope. But there were a few little problems I had. Mainly it was that I wanted more. I wanted a wider plot that focused a little bit broader on some of the more, all of the issues they focused on. I kind of wanted a bit more broadly developed and explored, like a bit wider with more detail. Instead, this is a very character-driven, character-focused book where we're looking at Star's development and the development of their family, and within the context of these broader issues. And I just kind of wish this context was explored a little further, but without taking away from any of those character development stuff. I don't know how I would have done it, but I just kind of wanted a little bit more from that. This is a very thought-provoking and complex book that really makes you think about what you're reading, and I absolutely loved that about it. I obviously gave this 5 stars. I thought it was amazing, and it also has kind of light moments where you're not feeling bogged down the whole time. It does bring some light into these issues and hope, I guess, as I mentioned before. And I think this was a beautifully written story. It deserves the praise it has been getting, and I'm very excited to see the movie. It was wonderful. Thanks for watching. If you've read The Hate U Give and would like to talk to me about it, please comment down below. And otherwise, I will see you soon with another video. Bye!